The tier list has been updated for Bready, and at the moment I'm starting to record this video, which is basically 3:15 p.m. Pridewin has also updated their tier list. So we're going to be checking their tier list, we're going to be going over our tier list, a little bit on updated things for Bready, and why a big discrepancy on our review and the placement other people are putting her, which is way lower. So before we start, as usual, hello the internet, welcome back to the Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict. Today's topic, our new favorite fat waifu, Bready. Now, she is fantastic. She's a really good character under the right circumstances, just like a lot of units we've been getting. TLDR, if you don't care about rates, you can skip her. Again, we're not talking about waifu. If someone is your waifu, you should not be watching videos, you should be using them regardless, right? So, if we're talking about meta, she's a character you can skip unless you care about rates. If you care about rates, she's a fantastic unit and she's gonna be the main DPS for water content moving forward. That's it. Let's talk a little bit about what she's been performing. I've been building her a little bit. So gear level 4, 4, 10, 6. I do not have books for burst because I am poor. I'm going to be taking this to level 7 and that's it, nothing else. And I will be keeping the skill 1 at level 4. If you want to check a TLDR on her skills, we can go into the website, and as you see, she's going to be rated as a T1, and we'll talk about why in a second she is a good unit. But if we talk to her skills, a 4-7 on a skill 1, skill 2 is priority since that's where most of the damage is going to be coming from, and then her burst is pretty good. Important for the skills, and I put this on notes, but the skill 1 is not really leveling up past level 4 unless you care about rates. If you care about rates, you could be taking this to level 7. The problem is the attack buff, right, only goes from 50 to 60 on level 7, and then from 7 to level 10 it goes to 70%, so 10% each. So it's really high cost for what you're getting back. Again, it's a good skill, but if you don't care, I wouldn't even bother. And same for the burst. Generally speaking, burst level 7 is going to be more than enough unless you are an ultra min maxer and you're competing for those top spots. That's it about her skills though. Her build has not changed much. I still think resilience is going to be the best because just how slow she is, and she has full charge on everything, and 2-second reload time means you are always or almost always better off using resilience, which by the way, I started spending my currency, boys. I don't think we are getting an update to Liberation ever. It's time. I could have Core 7 Nihilister, but I'm updating my Resilience and Bastion Cubes every day. So Resilience, you can go adjutant, is great if you are running real speed compositions. And then for overload, elemental, charge speed tech priority, attack and max ammo later, and then of course if you are lucky, charge damage as a filler. Now, let's talk about her pros and her cons a little bit, because there is two important things. Before I check that really quickly, not going into her notes, but if you go to Pridewin right now, you'll see that Bready is actually on B. There is a big discrepancy when it comes to Bready, right, where she is right now on this tier list and where I have put her personally. Now, I do agree that if she doesn't get buffs, she's useless. Like, we're talking about the character that unless you get these buffs, red or green or both, she loses her kit. She's useless. She only gets attack buff and she only gets attack damage, which are great buffs, but not big enough, if that is her whole kit. So if you're not getting sustained damage buffs, which is the red, or distribute damage buffs, which is the green, she sucks. In that case, I would, of course, agree she needs to be lower, but that's why we have the flag system, so you see why this character is placed in there. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I think some characters cannot be rated on their own, because if we were to be rating these characters on their own, Blanc should never be a tier 1 character. She should always be way lower on any tier list. Any tier list, she fucking sucks on her own. That is the reality. A 60-second burst cooldown, it is not good. Well, she will only be providing you with a shield and with heals after your fell burst ends, if I remember correctly. So that's what I am rating Bready, considering you are getting those buffs, aka you are getting distribute damage or sustain damage buffs. That's why I'm putting her on a T1 just based on that. If she is not paired with those characters, she sucks, she goes down. That's it. Let's go for her pros and her cons a little bit, and then we'll go into Pridewin and see what they are recommending as well. I also have some extra numbers if you guys are interested, which basically what I've been doing in my account. This was before I kept building her. This was 215k combat power, she is now a little bit higher. Her gear was level 2 here, she had lower skills, and also she had bond affection level 1 instead of 30, which she has right now. And as you can see, she is still destroying every water DPS. She was pretty close to Ludmilla as well, 1.6. My Ludmilla is fully invested. So she's a fantastic unit if you are getting those buffs. So, amazing damage as long as you build a team around her and provide her with the right buffs, sustain or distribute. And you can also focus on using supports with dedicated buffs, like the mates, instead of giving her more attack or attack damage, since she already gets a lot on her own. Now, like I was saying, without distributor sustain damage buffers, she's literally a useless character. Her kit disappears completely. And then also she got nerfed before release because Shift Up doesn't know how the game works. I still think that this is the case. Again, we don't know how strong she was before, so we'll never really understand how much of a nerf it was or if it was one at all. But it sucks that you are posting a kit and then you are nerfing it. Now, enough yapping about my side. Do let me know if you guys agree on rating these characters, having in mind some of these specific pairings that are necessary sometimes, or you would prefer to rate them just on their own when it comes to damage dealers. That said though, she is a T1, you should have the tier list updated, and let's move into Pridewin and see what they are saying about our new wife. Let me make this a little bit smaller. Perfect. Let's go over her review directly and we can go pros and then cons. So, strong water weak damage dealer for bosses, has 2 modes, can work with 2 different types of damage buffers, has some AoE clearing potential that helps again fights against centaur bosses, like Harvester, a lot of personal buffs, good to negate the stat penalty in high deficit. I don't know if I would use her on like high CP deficit, unless it's water weak and you have already built the mates as well, which is like a lot of requirements, but yeah, absolutely. Damage taken debuff helps the team, Black Snake Killer, Spicy Bond episodes, Saucy blah blah chats, Salacious illustration, okay, which I completely agree, alright, just look at this, and her MLB background is also pretty good. A cute little chubster that everyone wants to pinch, so I wanna fuck her, okay? Shift up really cool with Bready. No, I'll use her as a pillow. Thanks, Xenix. Alright, and then lastly, some cons in here. Minimal impact on PvP. I don't care about PvP, you guys know this, so I'm not gonna be talking about this ever, okay? I'm not gonna be giving advice on things I don't understand, so can't talk on this. The skills don't activate without third-time boost from teammates, stack with mates for now. Even without Rosanna, it kinda sucks, and then you also have Elec, but then again, it's not great. You should be using the mates with her, so if you don't have the mates, she's a character you should not even be bothering building, at least for now. The number of sustained damage buffers is low, only 1, and actually are all out of meta. Sadly, Rosanna, after she came out, she just got power creep by the Evangelion collaboration, and then never was seen again. I never invested in her. I wanted to, but there is so many characters that I didn't have time. And then after time went on, I was like, okay, I have like 0 reasons to like actually go and invest in this waifu now, other than great fucking looks, alright? That's just saying. A lot of self-attack during her burst, but in recommended taste mode, dilutes the attack move pool, like I was saying earlier. You are better off just going for specific moves rather than more attack, and then not sure if it's worth building right now unless you are competitive, seeing collab squeeze most players dry, and half anniversary is just 1 month away. Absolutely agree. I also want to check the cube they're recommending, which is resilience only, and then for her skills 777 or 10. I think you can ignore skill 1 a little bit, just because how expensive it is, personally. This is not worth going past 4 or even 7, depending on what you're doing, just because the price and what you're getting back, in my opinion. So I will leave the skill 1 at 4, maybe at 7 if you care enough for raids. That said though, I really like this character. I might be building Elec just so we can make like a thick team. We should be getting the next character that is crashed, that should be buffing Bready. I am not gonna be building her. I heavily just like crash design. I just fucking hate it. I don't like it at all. What can I say? I do not care if she's cute. I don't like her. Give me more mommies. That's the only thing I care. So that said, I would still recommend, like I was saying earlier, only to pull if you care about raids. If not, this is a character you can skip and put in your wishlist because this is a free background anyway. So even if you don't get the MLB, right? Even if you are still skipping and take a while to get the MLB, it's completely fine. You're getting an amazing background for free, which is more than enough. All that jumping aside is gonna be it for this video, for the tier list. Do let me know, like I was saying earlier, if you guys agree with the placements on the tier list and putting her that high, considering you are using the proper moves or not. And as usual, we'll be live later. Feel free to drop by, say hello. Good luck with your pool dinner dates. I'll see you in the next one.
役立たずは楽園から追放するのみ。ブランとノワールのショータイムです。天地万物を切るとはこういうことだ。